Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing this May the 8th, 2025 noontime. Beautiful update here with the golden crisp blue skies just north of downtown Detroit with breezy conditions and a current temperature 48 degrees. And as the cryptocurrency market skyrockets today, Bitcoin did crash and smash and break through $101,000, and the bullish trend continues. And if we go look at the Bitcoin price and get right on into this noontime update, it's very exciting. The bullish trend has continued, and we did notice that bullish cross that happened the other day and the daily time frame, and you can see we're continuing the bullish cross where the 50-day moving average is now at 90,000. The 200-day is just, or the 100-day is just below that at we don't care advertising is just below that at $89,000. And then the 200-day moving average is sitting up here at uptrending at 86,581 and change. You can see we blew through the $90,000. This is where I was anticipating a rejection. Blew through that, came up to our secondary rejection, consolidated on it, showing you that it was a secondary rejection point, but blew through that. And now we're approaching the all-time high of 109,401.91. We have our mountain double top right here of our old high. We're approaching that right now. We've essentially breached and smashed through all of the local resistance between where we were at and this consolidation that we've been on top of since uh, January, right? We went from swing high to swing low, down 32% and very healthy. But now we continue to pump to the upside. And there is very little to no resistance now to breach or to at least hit a new all-time high, or at least tie it up at $109,000. And that's why you're accelerating to the upside today. Or what it could be is where you have a classic bear trap where you do something, or a bull trap where you come down so much, have a ferocious rally, get very, very close to the all-time high, and then the floor drops out beneath itself, right? So that's what we're going to look for this week because this is obviously pumped higher than we initially thought it would. Um, it bounced off the area that we thought it would, that we were calling for at the $73,000. We thought we would have a nice rally there a couple of weeks ago, so we talked about it, but we thought we would get knocked down somewhere around the $90,000 level, but it's continued to the upside. So now we're going to continue to watch to see if this breaches and makes a new all-time high. If it's a bull trap, and if it's a classic bull trap, you would come up like we showed, just shy of the high, and then have a steep fall back down below that orange line and then get back close to the $90,000. Or if we're going to go to the 119,286.47 target, you would breach the old all-time high on this current rally right now. And something else that's something to take note of, and something that's given some life to the altcoins with the explosion today. Look what happened to Bitcoin dominance. Even as Bitcoin's been skyrocketing, Bitcoin dominance today has went down 1.19%, which is a pretty big fall within one day, and it's threatening to break down even farther. And that's helped aid a ferocious uh, coin rally today. If you look at some of the bigger cap coins, you can see we have the XLM. We had a massive bounce off of that 25.5 cents that we were talking about the last couple of days, saying that it needed to do that to continue this uptrend that we were in. And now we're right at the 100-day moving average. But looking at what Bitcoin's been doing, I would say maybe we're doing our rally earlier than I thought. I thought we might do in red from the 14.5 cents all the way to the 40. We lined that up a few weeks ago, about a month and a half ago, with the first mover advantage, but we might be doing that now. And if we break past this old recent short-term regional high rate back here from last week, we could be making a run at 43 cents an XLM. So that's something that we're going to watch the next several days, as this could happen very fast. If we get back above the 100-day moving average and breach this old high rate here, we could try to make a run technically at that 43 cents up there. So that's something that I'm paying attention to, because that's something I thought we would have to hit to 14.5 cents before we had that massive rally. But maybe it was a discovered pattern there. It was just happening a little, we had it going down a little bit too far. So we're going to pay attention to that. The XRP is the same thing. what I'm watching for today is as we bounced off the neckline at $2.09, is I'm looking at a target. You could potentially get as high very quickly as $2.55 level, bouncing off that neckline and going back up. Let's make this smaller, going back up. Let's make that smaller too. And let's stall that out because this is not needing to be seen right now. A major resistance point that was up here for a couple of months right there. Now we're going to need to do this. And then we're going to need to make it bigger. See that was a major resistance point up there, February, March, and April before we broke down towards the neckline, and we call that beautifully. Now on this rebound, you're getting back up and you are above the moving averages in the daily time frame. I could see a quick spike, potentially at minimum up to the $2.55 level with the way the Bitcoin price is reacting. uh, so this is something we're going to watch out for in the XRP price too. Is do we come still do not want to buy you? Can we come back up to the 255? That's your next major upper resistance point is up there at the 255. Obviously, your major underneath support, which you bounced off of it again, is the neckline at 209, right? AMP. This could be another area with the Bitcoin dominance going down. We could finally be getting some, maybe potentially breaking out into our next leg and getting this rally that we've been talking about for quite some time as we were, or we are in, come on. We are in this falling channel right here, and we've been in it for quite some time. Then we broke, and not really broke out of it, but traded out of it right here. Let me get my industry exclusive drawing tool out. We traded out of it here, and then we traded down still, but we stayed on top of the major resistance point of the falling channel, and we're holding it as support. Then at our first little kick up, about the second week of April, about April 12th, 13th, 14th, then we had another kick up, and now ever since then, about April 26th, 27th, we've just been trading sideways, essentially along the 50-day moving average. And that's where this pump could come up if you break that to the upside, which is a perfect opportunity to break that to the upside with the massive momentum in the cryptos today in the last 4 or 5 days, and now Bitcoin dominance having a big down day for the first time in a while. The next big move, if this breaks up, would come up 36.72%, and then coming up into this 0.00665, and potentially to hit a technical target up there at 0.00925, and potentially even higher than that if this got even more exuberant and there was massive, because how this coin works, it loves to pump very quickly and then reverse very quickly. There's an outside shot you could actually come up finally and hit that 0.0244. But right now on a pump, I'd be looking at initially a 36% move, and then potentially all the way as high in the short term, meaning the next week to 10 days, 0.00926 level to fulfill a technical target from what we just had with this falling wedge or falling channel. And then you would have a three successive pumps that look like this. And then we would have to look at, could that be coiling up for the next move to the upside, right? So this is very exciting with the AMP, and we're going to continue to pay attention to this. The H bar could be another one. All these coins, we hit this technical target beautifully out of this mountain double top. You can see we put it right here with the technical move, got you down to that 15 cents. It hit it beautifully, wicked all the way down into the 12.5 cents. We thought it would come to 9 cents, but maybe it's going to have a nice pump from this 15-cent technical move where you can see the moving averages. We got to adjust these. We got uh, these are going to start, and all these, the moving averages, you'll see the next day or two, unless these coins completely collapse, they're going to start uptrending now and flipping, and we're going to start to have some bullish crosses. We might be attempting, if we can break the 100-day moving average, we could come all the way up into here, this major neckline resistance at 27 cents. And H bar, obviously the 15.5 cents is your major underneath support. XDC hasn't had a big pump yet, hasn't hit the technical target from that head and shoulders either. It got about halfway there. And this is another coin that's trending to the upside. It's been doing it for several weeks, building a base, and you can see the moving averages have leveled off, and they're going to start to actually trend up. And if this breaks, uh, stays above the 100-day moving average, you're going to breach this 0.083, and you could come up as high as the 0.097 to potentially the 1 cent level, right? If this continues bullish and we have a spike like we've seen in other coins, obviously on any kind of mass rejection and flip around in the market, that technical target is still down there that hasn't been hit at 0.04. And so we got to keep an eye on that. But we also have to keep an eye on, do we blow past this 50-day moving at that this 50-day, get on top of this 100-day and have a spike in volume, and we have a quick spike in XDC like it's prone and known to do when we have market volatility like we have now. Like we put out Saturday, we would have a volatility warning, and the volatility this week has been successful retest and big pumps to the upside. As you can see, here's another retest that we were showing the other day as it got rejected by 23 cents. Would you hold this 20-cent level, which you have? Now you've pumped above the 50-day moving average. Now what you're going to look to do in Algo is make another run at the 200-day moving average and the 24 cents, the bottom part of this ride resistance zone, which you got rejected by last time, and look to break it this time. And you don't want to form something like that, which would be a mountain double top. You want to try to break that and get back in. Still don't want to buy you. Get back into this red resistance box and try to hold that as support and continue this bullish trend that we have right here, right? So that's what we're looking at in Algo. We have VGBs, the same thing. We technically, but hit our technical target almost with the wick, but didn't hit it with the full candle bodies. Then we were trading the last time we were looking at this within this sort of wedge consolidation that we were in, and we thought we would break down and come down to this 0.00839, and we did. And now we're holding it as support. And you can see the moving averages are violently moving because the trading's been in the same general range for quite some time. You can see right there, we're just below the 50-day moving average. And if you want to continue this pump to the upside, like some of these other coins have, you have to get above the 200-day moving average. And then you can make another run back up here to these wick highs from a couple of weeks ago at 0.01197. If you get rejected by the moving averages, you could come back, or you would come back down to this red horizontal 0.008, and you would have to look to hold that, right? But across the board, it's been a very exciting day in the cryptocurrency market. The coins have been pumping, but eventually there's going to be some kind of a turnaround, and we're going to have to watch, wait, and see where this all shakes out. And we'll look at this and see how the rest of the today turns out this evening. Peace and love, Direct Eyebrow J.